how about we touch bartering next? So,
Bartering, what's that?
well,
Please, PC,
before
teach us.
there's a few things that you would want to pre-order or get your hands on before bartering does come out. Obviously, your ship is going to be an important one. If you can get an Etheria, how often can you guys buy one? Do they show up on the marketplace or do you guys have to make your own?
We can get them through those Shakatu seals.
And people sell those on the market, by the way.
Yeah,
There were like 16
they
of them
do.
on the market the other day.
The ships?
Yeah, the ships.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Definitely get them because like in PC,
I built both of mine.
oh dude, I built a ship once back in the old days. It was terrible.
Fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Dude, it was terrible. But yes,
Oh.
get your ships beforehand and decide which route you want to go. So there are the two routes, the Caravel and the Galleass. The Caravel is more oriented for bartering, more weight, so you can do more barters without having to go to storage. And the Galleass is more combat oriented. So that comes into play much later. Once you have your main ships, like the Galleass variants, the frigates, they're faster. They move faster. They have less weight, but the Volante is the fastest ship on the sea, and it has the coolest name. So it's definitely a plus point there. So in order to upgrade for these, there are some items that you want to get beforehand. Mainly when you're going for the Caravel and the Galleass, you do the Great Sea Expedition questline. Eventually you go to Crow's Nest and you start doing Ravinia's dailies. So 4 days in, I think you get all the materials she gives. She pretty much supplies half of the materials you need to upgrade your ship. That's a big saver there because if you're doing the second ship, that's gonna take a lot more materials. So in terms of the materials you do want to get, some of the nodes.
Logs.
We'll go over the exact materials, but the first pre-orders you want to do are the sap, because these are huge play for upgrading to the Caravel or the Galleass, because you need to get half of the materials because Ravinia only gave half. So the other half is 5,000 white cedar sap, acacia sap, elder tree sap. Now on PC, elder tree sap, because it has 3 nodes, it does show up on the marketplace. So for example, even if it's 0 here, the number of pre-orders are very low. It'll fill pretty quickly. But if you look at acacia sap or white cedar sap, hundreds of thousands, if not, tens of thousands, a lot of them are there. If you're planning to get into bartering, I suggest you get these as soon as possible. Put those pre-orders up ASAP. So that is the acacia sap, white cedar sap, and the elder tree sap, 5,000 of each.
We've got 0 acacia, 0 white cedar.
People already
and
know.
18,000 elder tree.
People already know about it, but you guys got time before bartering comes out. Those pre-orders will fill, but instead of the pre-orders, you can put up your nodes or your workers to those nodes. So in the Medea region. So let's go through this in terms of improved and not going improved. So the improved Etheria sailboat is an upgrade you can do to your sailboat so that you can shoot your cannons without dismounting. This is a convenience thing. If you have the money to do it, you can do it. You can get by without doing it and go straight to the Caravel as well. Personal choice. I did it so I could, cheese through the sea monster hunting is what it is. So go to Grumpy Green. You can find their Etheria sailboat guide here, and you can see exactly the materials you need in order to, be ready to do the upgrade. So the pine plywood, flax fabric, hard pillars, all this stuff. Same thing with the Caravel. So you see on the right side, all the materials you need. The zinc ingots, old tree bark, red tree lumps. You'll get half of these, like half of these, half of these, half of the adhesive, but you need to get the remaining half yourself. You're gonna need 400 million raw silver, 600 with the Galleass, I believe. So keep some cash on hand. If you get those materials, those are the bottlenecks for people, because if you have 0 sap and you're out gathering those take a lot of time. But yeah, those are important pre-orders. Let's take a look at the Galleass really quick. Same kind of items here, but there's only a small difference in terms of the price. The frigate is more expensive. Now, for those of you who can't afford a frigate and such, it is a viable option to upgrade your Bartali ship. So look up the materials required to upgrade your ship to a frigate and keep that option open. I personally upgraded a Bartali ship all the way up to an improved frigate. It cost me half the price of actually buying the ship and doing it from there. So buying the ship and then upgrading it to improved versus starting from all the way at a Bartali. So it did take a bit more time, but I saved $1 billion. A good option. Another thing to look at is the tier 1 barters. So initially when bartering comes out, you're likely gonna see an impact to your marketplace for the tier 1 items. So all these items here, you can find a lot of different calculators in the sailing Discord. Just go there and get the latest one for your bartering, and you can find a list of all the tier 1 materials. So suddenly all these powders which might have been sitting there will start getting bought up, and you can expect this to happen when everyone gets into bartering, when it's new and the hype is there. The market's going to take a hit, so definitely be prepared. If you look at some of the prices of these, some of them aren't worth buying, but you know, you can prepare ahead of time. And
I mean, I'm sitting on a lot of that stuff already. So
yeah.
great. It's going to actually get used, and I can
Definitely.
move it out of my storage for once.
It's an item sink, so
With Mastery, they came out, there were so many items that started being used that had no purpose before, or no usual purpose. It was great. The
Yep.
items we have are actually getting used now.
Yep. So in terms of money, I think while your gathering took a hit with that reduction in number of nodes, bartering is going to stay constant pretty much, because at the end of the day, you can just sell the tier 5 items and stuff. So with a Karak, I can make 700 mil plus a day. The thing to remember, the only time bartering is worth it is if you spend a lot of time near a computer but can't actively play. Actively gathering, actively even grinding will outpace bartering in terms of how much money you can make over a day, but it can make money, you know, if you're just cheesing it. If you're just auto pathing from island to island, you can put some inputs on the console or the PC every now and then, but can't actively play. That's when bartering does have a place. But there are people who do nothing but bartering every day, and you know, if you combine it with passive incomes elsewhere around the world, like your farms, imperials and whatnot, once you get it, your worker nodes and stuff, you know, you can't push that income over $1 billion. Anyway, these are just things to keep in mind when it's time for bartering to get released for console. Trust me, those saps will fly. There will be plenty of pre-orders on those. So the sooner the better. All right. So either of you console players, any questions? We good?
I don't do much
No,
on the
don't
ocean.
Don't worry. Depends on the player. Like, you know, if you want to be as lazy as possible, bartering is the best thing you can do.
I'll probably end up spending some time more on the ocean when family karma comes. Because the first time that I was going out in my frigate to see monster hunt with a buddy, he was in his boat, I was in mine. I was leaving Velia Harbor and pretty much got 3-shot and sank. I was like, okay. I mean, it was
Yeah.
fun, but it was still like, all right, this is a great introduction.
Yeah.
So family karma would be great.
Yeah, you guys do need family karma for that. But yeah, for bartering, the best class is Alan, in my opinion. It's easiest to get from your ship to the wharf and back. And I keep Alan at level 23. That's my bartering character. Never leveled up after she could fly. So I never have to deal with anyone PvPing me. So it's a useful thing to do. It's definitely, because if you're life skilling in general or grinding, going from land to sea is a pain. There are going to be days you feel lazy and don't want to do it, so best to keep it on a separate character. Unless you want all the icons like Jordan. That's what he's going for, man.
I want it.
Well, if you life skill too, like you'll probably want to get into bartering, because there will be times where you're like out of cooking stuff, you're out of alchemy stuff, and you're out of energy, and you're just like, well, what do I do? I don't want to grind.
Cool. I guess we can conclude the console bartering preparation tips there.